I know it's not exactly brave to say that gaming journalism isn't the most prestigious or well respected career in the world right now, especially over the last few years. But that doesn't mean that I think all game journalists are bad people or evil, gamer hating tyrants that want to throw every gamer in the gulag and burn the industry down. But I do agree that a lot of times gaming journalism feels like a bit of a joke. Some of the articles are some of the stinkiest, most nonsensical pieces I've read. And today I read a tweet from IGN that really put it in perspective on how we got to this point. It really explained a lot about modern game journalism. It was this silly little tweet here that I had to do a double take on because I thought it might have been an April Fool's joke or someone impersonating IGN, but this is legitimate. This is a blast to put out there, hoping to find freelancers that'll work for IGN, and they're saying that the base rate per story is $20. Now, I'm going to blank out the person's name that posted this because I don't want anyone to harass them, and I don't think it's their fault. It's not like they chose the $20 base rate number. But I bet right now you're getting that little tingling in your nutsack saying, that doesn't seem right. That's a little weird. $20 for freelance journalism seems a bit low. Fucking middle school student council newspaper pays their kids more for articles in their paper than IGN's paying freelancers here. $20 per story. Now, they did say that it's a sliding scale, so you get paid more based on, like, I guess the size and the research that goes into the story, but a base rate of 20 per story is alarmingly low. I can't believe they actually even posted that information in the initial tweet here. That feels like a detail that'd be on the fine print of a shitty contract that the devil would have you sign. By the way, you're only getting $20 for your work. You know, it honestly reads like something parents would tell their 6-year-old to get them to do chores like, hey, sport, come here. If you take the trash out, empty the dishwasher, clean the dishes, mow the lawn, clean the pool, I'll give you $1. And the kid gets excited like, oh my goodness, a whole dollar. Yes, Pop, I'm on it right now. That's just wild to me that they're just proudly plastering that on the tweet. Again, I feel like that'd be something some scummy company would keep to themselves. Like after you DM them with your overqualified portfolio, they just say, yeah, I'll give you $20 for this garbage, you suck. Now, they did shed a bit more light on this, saying that the $20 is for basic news aggregation, and they'll go up to $50 for a slightly more involved story, which is like finding us a fun community angle that's not sourced from another outlet or social media, and $300 and up for in-depth multi-source reporting. I feel like after they explained it further, it made it even worse. Because now you know exactly what they kind of expect for $20, which is actual butthole. This is pure dog shit here. So it seems like for $20, you can just take a random tweet, post it on IGN, call it an article, and collect $20 for it. Oh, here's a tweet with 4 likes from Twitter user X Atheist Shadow Lord, where he said Horizon Zero Dawn should have been Game of the Year. Publish. Like, it's crazy. And then when you look at the $50 price tier, it specifies don't source it from another outlet. But that's for $50, so it seems like they're totally fine if you copy and paste from another outlet, just not for $50. Which explains very much so how IGN has ended up with so many awful articles that really just feel lifted from other outlets. Which isn't anything groundbreaking, we're not reinventing the condom here, I'm not blowing the lid wide open on a crazy conspiracy. It's well known that these big outlets borrow stories from one another because they're covering the news, right? So they'll take articles from other places and just change things around a bit to tell the same story. But for IGN here with this freelance job post to just outright kind of hint that they're okay with something like that is pretty brave and pretty bold. They got a little wacky here today with this one, I'd say. And then you get to your actual almost reasonable pay for work, which is the $300 tier, which is actual reporting it seems like they're looking for. Now, I don't know normal rates for game journalism, but $300 feels like it should have been around the base rate per story. You're writing for one of the biggest gaming outlets in the world, IGN.com, and they can't afford to pay you a reasonable rate per story? $20 is the best they can do? That's fucking crazy. They're actually flicking peanuts at you. And people are supposed to sign up for this? Why? Now, if you could just farm this, milk it like an infinite money cheat code in a video game, like I'll just keep taking tweets from Twitter, posting them on IGN for a $20 paycheck, then yeah, maybe. Because it does sound like IGN just wants quantity over quality for their articles here. But other than that, what are you hoping to attract here? No good freelance journalist is going to be excited about $20 and maybe $50. 300, again, I don't know the usual rate, but that feels a little more reasonable, albeit still a bit low for multi-source reporting and breaking news and like breaking big stories. I will say though, just like my boy George, this has got me curious. I would love to know what all of the other gaming outlets are paying their freelancers, because IGN is by far the biggest, and their parent company that owns them is worth actual billions of dollars. They make the most revenue out of any gaming journalist outlet there is. And they can only squeak $20 out from their butt cheeks for their freelancers. What the fuck is Polygon and Kotaku paying them? In sticks of gum? Toenail clippings? Like what could they possibly be paying if the biggest one can only afford $20 for them? This whole situation really did put in perspective why game journalism is so silly these days, if this is the normal pricing for freelance journalism or even high-level journalism at $300. Again, I feel like that's kind of low. Maybe I'm wrong. But it does explain to me why so many of these articles have so little effort and substance to them. Because at this base rate per story for these articles, you're going to need to be pumping this shit out faster than a man who accidentally ate a laxative in order to survive off of this rate. Like, you're going to just have to be collecting these crumbs of money from IGN to try and survive off of as a game journalist. Now, of course, I'm sure this position is aimed at people that have a full-time job and just do freelance journalism on the side, but even still, that's such a low and insulting number to try and get someone on board. It feels exploitative that you're using the IGN name to get away with paying so little, hoping that some people have a lot of respect for the IGN brand, that they'll work for way less than they should. And I really bet that's not exclusive to just IGN. They're just hoping to leverage their name to get people to come on board for significantly less than they should. You know, like, hey, this is going to be huge for your resume. You know, we'll pay you an exposure. You wrote for IGN, remember that. You wrote 400 articles for IGN all about the top 5 best video game character nipples, or, you know, your banger article about the 4 best soundtracks that feature an oboe. This is going to be such a resume builder for you. You're going to find work anywhere you want after this. So then they'll pay them like $20. Crazy to me. So reading this tweet, I thought was just an eye-opener. And it does also help me understand why so many of these freelance journalists choose to make pieces that are aimed to make readers angry. Rage baiting is what it's called. That's no secret. A lot of the outlets use this technique to get more clicks and more traffic to their site, because when people read a headline that makes them mad, they'll read the article. So if they're only getting paid $20 or $50 in these circumstances, then making things that are aimed at making readers angry makes sense, because they can make so many more of them so easily, thus getting more site traffic and more articles out there so they can farm a bit more money from the underpaying gaming outlet. So all around, this whole thing was pretty wild. And I saw almost no one respond positively to it. I expected at least a couple people more knowledgeable than I am to come forward with information about why this is a reasonable rate, but nobody did. Even like industry professionals came forward saying, this is kind of wild. I haven't seen something this abysmally low before. So pretty much no one agrees with this pricing, so I have to wonder why they put it out there in the first place. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit since I found it very interesting, and that's about it. See ya.